Hi, my name is Jamie Lynch, and you are listening to Eating Habits, my podcast about everything restaurants. I will explore the human element of the hospitality business, and I'll talk to the who's who in restaurants, explore their stories, and hear what's on their minds in the ever-changing landscape of the food and beverage industry.
Hey, this is Gene Briggs. Welcome to Eating Habits.
Hey everyone, welcome to the end of March. I'd like to dedicate this episode to my father, Peter Lynch. Happy birthday, Dad. In this week's episode, we speak to Gene Briggs. I spent many years working on his line in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm really excited to get him behind the mic today. I hope you enjoy the stories. Here we go. All right, so Gene.
Jamie.
Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
Yeah, man. So first of all, you and I met probably back in
03.
03.
Yeah.
Wow. So we worked together for a long time. So I worked for you at Blue Restaurant and Bar.
Yep.
Also at Table.
Yep.
Out in Valentine.
Yeah.
And we worked together for, I don't know, 5 years? 6 years.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get into all that because a lot of great things happened for me over that.
For all of us, yeah.
For all of us during that time. I mean, that was a huge chunk of it. I think that was the longest, other than my current, my own restaurants, that was my longest stint in any kitchen. So we'll get to that. But first, let's talk about kind of where you came from, how you ended up in Charlotte, because you're a fellow New Yorker.
Absolutely.
So let's kind of start there and go through kind of how you fell into cooking and hospitality and stuff, and then what kind of landed you here in Charlotte.
From upstate New York, Binghamton area, up there, famous for Speedies.
Yes. We've had many a conversation about Speedies.
We actually have them on our menu at Trolley Barn right now.
Do you really?
Yeah, people love them, buy them, yeah.
Sold.
Yeah, they're good. So up there, mid-20s, early mid-20s, I made the choice to move down to Charlotte. My brother had been going to school here, and I came down here in January, and I was wearing shorts and a T-shirt, and I said, I'm never going back up to that cold again.
Yeah.
And so...
Paradise. You found paradise.
Absolutely. And at that time, downtown Charlotte at 5 o'clock in the afternoon rolled up the streets. Literally, there were tumbleweeds going down there. There was nothing there at nighttime. I started working at 2 restaurants in the same building. It's where Mimosa Grill is now. It was the bottom one. And then on the 30th floor was a place called Slug's 30th Edition. There was a steakhouse up there. The bottom floor was a place called Prisms. And I was there for a few years, and you come down from New York and start working here, and people are like, oh, that's how you're supposed to do it. Kind of going back to that upstate New York thing, I grew up, I started cooking when I was 5 or 6 for my mom and dad. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is the greatest thing ever that I can, because I like to eat, obviously.
For those of you that don't know, Gene, you're a big dude.
Yeah, good size.
Like
about 300.
5'11", 6 foot?
About 6 foot.
6 foot.
Yeah.
300.
Yeah.
He's a big boy.
And so I just kind of got there, and I got into the business when I was about 14, 15. Started working.
Were your parents good cooks? Or were they just, did you guys eat a lot, or was it were they?
My mom's a good cook. I mean, it was all, nice, good comfort food. Mm-hmm. We'd eat 10, 15 pounds of mashed potatoes at a sitting, old Irish family.
So how many brothers and sisters do you have?
I've got one brother, one sister.
Okay, so there's 3 of you.
Yeah.
And did you guys have was mealtime a thing where you guys have a meal every night, or
breakfast? We go to school, then we'd have dinner, sit down dinner. My dad worked for UPS, so his schedule kind of changed a lot. But we kind of wait for him to come home most of the time, and we'd sit down and eat together.
Gotcha.
And it was a big thing. For me, I've always been into food, always really liked it. And then, once I started working in the actual business, I was like, this is incredible. And I'd be a dishwasher in there, and I'd look at these line cooks, and they were getting all the girls, and they'd be.
Tell me about that first restaurant. So you were a dishwasher first.
I was a dishwasher.
Many
first.
of us, same here.
Oh yeah.
We started early on. So you're 14 or 15.
Yeah.
And what was the restaurant that you?
It was an
started?
Italian restaurant called Augustino's.
Okay.
And my cousin, ran it. He was a GM. The owner's name was Guido Iacovelli.
Of course.
Yeah, and,
of course it was.
And he was that guy.
Yeah.
And I just got, as I actually started out as a busboy, and, kind of a story here, kind of gave you my thoughts as to servers than front of house people. I went in there, working there, really working hard, busting my ass, and I was there for a couple of weeks, and my cousin comes up, he's like, wow, you must be making really good money and everything. I said, yeah, it's pretty good. He's like, all those tips coming in every night must be awesome. I said,
huh?
What tips?
Yeah.
He's like, they're not giving you any tips? I said, I have never seen anything. So he got the whole staff together.
He said, what's a tip?
Yeah.
You're like, what's that?
He got the whole staff together, and he's like, have you guys not been tipping out the busboys? And they're just all like, So he made them give me money on the spot. They all hated me at that point.
Uh-oh.
And so I was like, I don't want anything to do with this. I'm just going to be a dishwasher from
Yeah.
now on. Then became a prep cook, and I was like, okay, this is really what I want to be doing. This is what I've seen. I still hadn't made it to the line yet. I'm 16 years old. I finally got my shot on the line. I was like, this is incredible.
So as a prep cook at that time, what were your tasks look like? Like, so at this,
I'd go in and put my own prep list together, and in a place like that, I'd be making all the sauces, the meatballs, and we had a buffet at that time,
Mm-hmm.
and so we'd put that out, and I'd put that together, just get everything ready for it,
Yeah.
and even at that point, I took a lot of pride in what I was doing, and that's also when I started having a reoccurring issue. Why doesn't everybody else think this is as cool as I do? And why doesn't everybody else think that, this food is awesome and this is great, and that's where I started, realizing, okay, maybe I have a little bit more than everybody else going into this. Mm-hmm. And it kind of followed me to be a line cook, and I'd be working with people, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? Why don't you want to do it the right way? Or a server, why don't you understand how important this is that we're doing right here? And, I think that kind of, a lot of us that are like this, I know you and Ben, everybody, we had that same thought a lot.
yeah.
Why doesn't everybody understand how incredible this is, what we're doing?
Why do you think that is? Like, looking back now, like identifying that as like an early kind of thought that you had,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like getting kind of into restaurants and cooking
Yeah.
and all that, and thinking to yourself, why aren't people getting this the way that I am? Looking back now, why do you think that is? What do you think causes that?
I think that there's some people that are just geared towards that.
Yeah.
And it's something that I've always enjoyed doing. I since then, I enjoy getting up in the morning and going into work. Mm-hmm. Not everybody does that.
Right.
Most people, for them, it's just a job.
Yeah.
And so I'd be trying to push. I'd always want to be the best person in everywhere I worked. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't understand why everybody didn't have that drive.
Yeah.
And so, we keep going. And then as I got into it more and started kind of getting myself up to an upper level in some of these places, I was like, okay, I really need to learn about what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. So I go to the local library when I was, 17, 18 years old, and just find all the old cookbooks I could. I mean, Binghamton's an old town, so they had a lot of these libraries, they had stuff. And I saw this reoccurring person in all these books, and I'd be like, who is this James Beard guy? Mm-hmm. And so I'd start reading his books, and it was all fairly simple stuff, but he went into it technically wise and really showed you how to do it. And I'd bring that back to the restaurants. Okay, I want to try this now. And I just keep getting my skills better and better. Mm-hmm. Then I'd talk to other people. I've read this book by James Beard. They'd be like, who?
Yeah, who's James Beard?
Yeah.
What's that guy?
Yeah, exactly. And stuff like that. And so that shaped a lot of stuff too. So I kept going, New York, and I'd be, running restaurants up there and everything. And then 20 years old, I got my first chef gig up there.
Was that in Binghamton?
In Binghamton still, yeah.
Okay. Where was that?
It was at a restaurant, a hotel.
Okay.
Up there. And
there's a hotel in Binghamton?
There's a couple.
Is that a motel?
It's mostly adult bookstores and bars, but
yeah.
there are a couple hotels up there. But and so I was like, this is awesome. I get to call the shots and everything, but I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, you were 20?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
I think back to when I was 20 and I was like,
yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking.
But I think it's because I've always had that kind of leadership mentality. You know, I always wanted to be running the show, and most people are like, all right, yeah, go ahead. You know, I really don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. So then, you know, Binghamton's, you're only going to go so far. So that's when I started thinking about coming down here. I finally got the shot, moved down here, and like I said, I was working in those 2 restaurants for a while, and then I got a chance to work at the Charlotte City Club with Chef Jean Lampel and Uli Keller. And
so explain what the City Club is for people who might not know.
The City Club, you know, it's
especially back then. I mean,
oh yeah, absolutely. It was a country club, but it was within downtown. So it's a lot of businessmen would come in there for lunches. They'd schedule dinners. They'd have their meetings there. And at that point, there was a lot of high-powered people that were coming into the City Club. Mm-hmm. And I finally got to work with a chef at that point that I was like, holy shit, look what this guy could do. I mean, Jean Lampel, I still talk to him to this day. And he's one of the first people that really kind of shaped what I wanted to be. His name was Chef.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was like, then at that point, I was like, I can't wait till the day that my name is Chef. And that's all they call me.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so I kind of worked with them for a while.
So was he like the first kind of like mentor type chef that you worked for?
Yeah. You know, because I saw, you know, at that point, he had been doing it for a while. So he wasn't really on the line cooking, doing a lot of stuff at that point. But anytime he did cook, it was almost like magic.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be, holy shit, how does he do that? You know, so I'd emulate him. And again, I go back to the cookbooks. You know, how do we do this? How do we do that? And it just came.
Did he take sorry to cut you off.
No,
I'm curious.
Fine.
Did he take like a vested interest in teaching you
Yes.
technique and stuff?
Yes.
Cool. So he actually took time out to be like, hey, this is how we properly do this. Or this is how I want this done.
Yep.
And so you were just kind of like sponging up all that.
And that's what it was. And there was another guy in there, his sous chef, Uli Keller from Switzerland. Mm-hmm. Uli was this little short guy, chain smoked cigarettes all day long, ate butter sandwiches all the time. He weighed 100 pounds, was the most unhealthy guy ever. But, you know, I'd come in and show him some techniques that I'd been using before. And I'm like, oh, yeah, this is going to be awesome. Watch this. But then he'd say, no, watch this.
Yeah.
You know, I think that one of the first ones, it was like, I don't know, we were doing veal parmesan or something similar like that, or like a schnitzel. And I put mine in the deep fryer. It came out nice, crispy, juicy. I was like, well, look at that. He's like, watch this. And he pan fried some.
Yeah.
And I was like,
and some butter and nice salt and all that.
And herbs and everything. I was like,
oh, that's the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was really, you know, eye-opening for me with those guys.
Yeah. How long did you work with that team there?
2 years. Mm-hmm. And then a former guy that worked there with me, Chris, went to work at Sonoma Restaurant over on Providence Road. The original chef there, after 3 months, quit, so they made Chris the chef. He brought me in as sous chef. At that point, you know, Charlotte was just starting to kind of bite on good food.
What year was that?
That was 1994.
Okay.
That was 94. Yeah. And there had been a restaurant there called Crossroads before that with a chef named Toby McAfee. Mm-hmm. And he kind of started really bringing, you know, call it California-style cuisine, you know, but what he's meaning, you know, fresh, using local farmers, things like that. Mm-hmm. And so they closed down, and we went in there with Sonoma, with Pierre Bader owning it. Mm-hmm. And he just kind of continued that. And so Chris and I, at that point, were, you know, just eating up everything we could look at. You know, find the newest Charlie Trotter book that would come out. And then there was a restaurant that opened up the road called the Townhouse. Mm-hmm. And the chef's there, his name was Etienne Julien. Mm-hmm. He worked with Jean-Louis up in D.C.
Jean-Louis Paladin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he brought all that stuff down here. Mm-hmm. He started using foie gras and sweetbreads, and we're going to do that stuff too. And so we started using a lot of those products like that. People in Charlotte weren't using that at that time.
Yeah.
And so then a lot of restaurateurs started coming into town at that point. When they opened Bonterra, they came in there, and they used to eat at Sonoma all the time, and all these other chefs would come in and say, okay, these are the guys we've got to, you know, stage ourselves against. Mm-hmm. worked there for a few years, and then Chris opened another restaurant with Pierre, so they made me the chef at Sonoma. And at that point I was like, this is it right here. Mm-hmm. There were 3 of us in the kitchen, and we just were killing it, and we were doing all kinds
How
of
big
food.
was the dining room there? Like, what was the service like? How busy was it? You had 3 people in the kitchen, so I imagine you weren't doing massive numbers.
80-seat dining room.
Okay, that's pretty big.
It was good size for that.
For a 3-man line, that's...
Yeah.
I mean, we had 40 seats at Barrington's with Bruce, and we were getting our asses kicked.
I know. And it was madness during shifts. There was no air conditioning in the kitchen. It was like 120 degrees. Then Helen Schwab came in and did a review for us, and we killed it.
Awesome.
And then everything just blew up from there. But again, I still kept having that issue of, why don't all you people get it the way I get it? Mm-hmm. And it started coming out more angry at that point. Mm-hmm. And, then I started getting a reputation, yelling at people, and they're crying in the middle of the shift and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't know if this is okay, but they're doing it.
Yeah.
So
it's working.
Yeah, exactly. And so we kept, kept pushing the bounds there. And, after a few years, I was like, okay, I really kind of want to move on from here. Mm-hmm. And, I thought I was the shit then. One of the hottest restaurants in town.
How old were you at this point? You're
late 20s.
Yeah, so your ego's like through the fucking roof.
Yeah, I tell you, I look at some of those old menus from back then, and I'm like, what the fuck was that?
I know it. We'll get to that too, because I think that's the the funny thing about aging is that your perspective gets broader.
Absolutely.
And you look back. I mean, I do that all the time. Just even like a few years. I look back 5 years ago, and I'm like,
yeah,
what was I thinking?
Yeah,
yeah. That's interesting.
And it was awesome at the point. Then I went to this big corporate place, Bistro 100. It was owned by Levy.
Yep.
But at that point, Levy wasn't
as big, right?
No, they weren't the place. They were super focused on high end food. They had 3 James Beard chefs working for them at the time. Mm-hmm. Dominique Tone up at Bistro 110 in Chicago. They had some really top end chefs, and they were really pushing it. So one of the things with Levy's, I got to go work with all those guys up there.
Right.
And that just really blew my mind. Mm-hmm. And they sent me to California, they sent me to Chicago.
Bistro, that's a big restaurant.
That was a high 300 seat restaurant. Yeah.
So you went from Sonoma 80 seat, farm to table-y stuff, to Bistro that was like a 300 seat monster. And it was busy too, right?
Oh, it was super busy. Yeah.
How was that transition?
It was difficult at first. How do I keep this same quality doing these numbers? But in all reality, it shaped me for my future, what came from there. Mm-hmm. And it really helps because we were able to do that quality of food for that many people. You just need a lot more people to do it. And
so how big was your team at Bistro going into that monster restaurant?
That's when I started to build my team.
Okay.
That's where Dago came in. He was working there. Manny, all those guys.
Those guys
even
were all
Mitchie.
Those guys were all there when you arrived.
Either they were there or I had brought them in soon afterwards.
Okay.
And so that really started the whole legacy of all these guys that have worked with me for so many years. That helps so much because you can do anything at that point. You just point these guys in a direction, they know how you want it. But I think the biggest impact of that company there is that I was able to get access to people that most people in this business only dream of. I actually got to work with Paul Bocuse for an entire week.
That's awesome.
How
was that experience?
Scary at first because he walked in the door and I had hired a friend of mine, Harrison Booth, another really good chef in this town. We were working there and Dominique and Paul Bocuse come walking in the restaurant and they're like, we'd like some food. So I'm like, fuck, I'm cooking for Paul Bocuse right now.
I'm not prepared for this.
And he wanted something as simple as a steak and a salad. Mm-hmm. But even that, cooking for someone who I'm here because of Paul Bocuse. Mm-hmm. And, not everybody gets that.
I think all of us are.
Yeah.
I mean, I think honestly, I think if you went in my kitchen right now any of my kitchens and asked some of the young cooks who Paul Bocuse is or what was his impact or legacy in cuisine, they wouldn't have a clue.
None of them know who he is.
Right.
And again, that bothers me. Mm-hmm. How do you not know who this guy is, and you're in this business?
But then, and most people don't even know who Ferdinand Point is.
No,
and
exactly.
that was the guy who trained Paul Bocuse.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are going back, we're talking about 100 years ago, right? I mean, Paul Bocuse was, how old was he when he passed away?
In his 90s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was almost 100 years old.
Yeah.
So then Ferdinand Point was another, generation closer to Kareem and Escoffier and all that stuff. I mean, they are the people who literally changed the face of cuisine in the world, and allowed us to develop the techniques and styles.
That's where those techniques came from.
Right. Yeah.
From those guys right there.
Totally, 100%.
And to just be in that guy's shadow like that.
Cooking lunch for him.
Yeah. and then not only that, that was like a day or two later, and I'm picking individual time leaves because that's what he wanted me to do. Mm-hmm. And he comes up with Dominique, and he says to Dominique, and Dominique's like, Chef Bocuse would like you to make the consommé for his. We did a full dinner. It was like his soup VGB that's got the beef cheeks, the foie gras. He'd like you to do the consommé for it. Again, I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's heavy.
Yeah, and so I worried about it all that day. Went in the next day, made it, and came out perfect. Yeah, and he didn't really say anything.
Sure. But
the fact that he didn't say anything to me was a win.
Totally. Yeah.
And that's another. With that company, we were able to work with Joel Robuchon. Mm-hmm. You want to see somebody that's manic? I mean, he walked into a room full of James Beard Award-winning chefs, and they're all doing mirepoix and cutting things for the dinner that he was doing. He walked in, throw it on the floor, throw it on the floor. And these guys just put their heads down, like, okay,
yeah,
you're in the presence of almost godliness in this business with guys like that.
Yeah,
and to me that's equating them to in the food industry to someone like Da Vinci or something like that in the art.
Yeah,
I mean, these guys we're all good cooks,
sure,
but these guys have transcended that, and they're just like. That's what they are.
Yeah.
And so to be able to see and meet people like that it's incredible.
That's awesome.
So, we went through that for a few years at Levy, and, I told the chef there, I said, listen, when I came in the building, I was cool shit. And I said, I'm going to make you famous if you hire me. You just stand back and let me do it. I mean, that confidence has also followed me through my career, too. And he did it.
Yeah.
And let me do all that. Yeah. He was like, well, that's fine.
Yeah. Sweet. So I can just sit here and drink my coffee and you're going to.
Yeah. And so, we started getting into, all of the, chef competitions in town and the Taste of the Nation. And we started winning all these awards and stuff like that. He was getting the credit, but everybody in town knew who was doing it.
Right. I mean, you were out there in the field doing it.
With him.
You were the guy on the line when people went into.
Exactly.
To have dinner or whatever. You were the one that was doing the cooking at the events.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I worked the wood burning oven there, which was the busiest station.
Yep.
And from there, I could show everybody else what to do and how to do it and everything. To me, that was incredible.
Yeah. So I remember, that's just when you said working the wood burning oven, I had a kind of a flashback to Blue. And I think, for me, coming up under Andrew Carmelini was my mentor. And that dude was a fucking badass in the kitchen. And the reason I followed Andrew and basically would do anything to work with him is that he was on the line. Like, he wasn't one of these chefs that was, telling you what to do and giving you recipes. Like, he would knock your ass off a fucking station and throw down.
Oh yeah.
If you were in the weeds or dragging in service, he would slide down there and just fucking show you how it was done. And I respected the shit out of that.
Absolutely.
Because he could back it up. Mm-hmm. And I remember your big ass on the fucking line, because that line at Blue and we'll get to that. We'll talk about Blue.
Yeah.
That line sucked. I mean, it was narrow and long.
Oof.
and you would come barreling down that fucking thing, and it was just like it was like a bowling ball coming down, and people just out of the way.
Yeah.
I remember I had that connection, like that similar kind of thing where you weren't afraid to get on the line and like get some burns and make it happen.
And that's not so much to this day, but
we don't have the joints that we used to.
no, that's a fact.
Yeah,
and we'll touch on that too.
yeah.
So
you were working the wood burning oven, there,
Yeah.
and kind of running the show.
always the whole deal. And then I heard about these guys opening this big restaurant next door. And I was like, And the chef from Bistro 100 put his application in there first.
Really?
And so I was like, well, I don't know about that. I think I'm going to go talk to these guys. And that's when I met Alex and Jack. Mm-hmm. Interviewed with them, and they pretty much hired me on the spot.
Cool.
They had gotten a lot of word from people in town. This is the guy they loved Bistro 100. Mm-hmm. And, this is the guy that's really running the show and everything. And so then I hooked up with them.
Bistro 100 was across the street.
Right across
was
the
across
street.
Fifth Street
Yep.
from where Blue ended up opening.
Literally right across the street. And so I wanted to find something where I could take it from the start.
Yeah.
And really make it my own. And so, we got into construction. The kitchen had already been designed at that time. So there wasn't a whole lot I could do about that. And I didn't, honestly know that much about kitchen design at that point anyways, So we went in there and I got, did all these tastings for them and did that. And then I'm like, all right, I got to start hiring my team.
Was the equipment package already like put
Everything.
in place?
It wasn't
built,
but everything was
already
bought
selected
and
like.
Yeah.
Do you know? Did Alex and Jack have a kitchen designer build it? How'd that?
Through U.S. Foods.
Okay, so their corporate team was like, Here, this is what you need for what you guys want to do. Boom.
And because U.S. Foods, especially at that point, they base their shit on frozen foods and stuff like that.
100%.
That's how their kitchen was set up.
Yep.
And so, it was a test at first when we first opened that place because of all that. So, we're, towards the end of that bistro days, that's when I also started really looking at, okay, I need to help this next generation of guys come up. So there was a few guys from the bistro days that still to this day talk to me and that are running some big restaurants and whatnot like that. There's actually a kid from Sonoma that he went and worked for some big time people in D.C. and I hadn't heard from him for a few years. This kid, his name was Cubert, and that was his nickname. And he caught up with me, and he brings me this book, and it's a book from Alain Ducasse. And he's like, open it up. And it was a signed book from Alain Ducasse. He said, I'm his pastry chef now in New York City.
Wow.
I was like, dude. He's like, I just want to thank you for, really showing me how things are supposed to be and, using good techniques and knowing the difference. Okay, there's only one way to do things. There's never a wrong way. There's only the right way to do things. Mm-hmm. And so he really thanked me for that. And that really kind of touched me.
Yeah.
So from then, I was like, okay, I'd want to, be able to get people out there that think like that and really want to, listen to what we have to say. So we started putting together the team for Blue.
Yep.
I took a bunch of applications from Bistro 100 for people that were going to be coming in and taking my job. Mm-hmm. And so I started calling them up. And one of the first ones was...
Nice move, chef. I like that.
One of the first ones was Ben. Mm-hmm. And so I called this Ben Miles kid and talked to him for a little bit on the phone. He's got this deep voice and everything. I'm like, all right. And so I'm like, all right, I'll meet you down by where they were, constructing Blue at the point. And I stand on the street and I see this little kid walking up there. I'm like, no way, that's not Ben. And because I'm sure as shit, it's Ben. And we started talking and we hit it off right away. Mm-hmm. Good kid. He's got a, he's got a good head on his shoulder. I can see that he works really hard. I think I'm going to hire this kid. Then I called John. Mm-hmm. And same thing. He was working for Mark at the time, Mark Martin. Mm-hmm. So we kind of hit it off really well. And so I'm like, all right, there's one more. And then we're getting down kind of the wire. So I was like, I got to get another sous chef in here as busy as this place is going to be. And that's when I talked to Dominic. Mm-hmm. Totally lied on his resume. Totally lied about what he could do. And I brought him in there. I didn't have any place to bring people in to test them out, see what they could do.
Do a cooking test or any sort of stage or anything.
And so we're getting up to the day we're getting ready to open. I see this kid's just not. what he needs to be.
Yeah.
And so, we're getting up there, and right from the very day that place opened, it was busy.
Yeah.
It was just silly. And Charlotte had never seen anything like that at that point.
Yeah, so Blue was is it 300, was it 300 seats or?
Right around 250, 300.
250.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a big dining room. They spent a lot of money on the design and stuff. It was kind of like it had like a modern kind of design with a big bar. The whole floor of the bar was like a mosaic tile type situation.
Yeah.
It must have cost a fortune.
Ton.
Yeah, that's a lot of money for some tile flooring. And I think, Alex always wanted to have live music in there, so he had like jazz nights going on and had like live music.
And that was big at the time. Nobody, people weren't doing that.
Yeah.
They weren't fusing the fine dining, the nice dining with the music at that point in Charlotte.
Right.
And
the menu was all Mediterranean.
Yep.
Right. That was like diehard Mediterranean.
Yeah.
So everything was from anywhere around that area, and it was a lively place. Like it was.
It was.
When it was going, it was busy. I mean, it was loud. People were having a good time. It wasn't a stuffy fine dining restaurant. It was like an upscale, like nightlife type restaurant.
More like something you'd see in a larger city.
Totally.
It really wasn't. Because there's so many people that come down here out of New York and Boston and D.C., and they're like, this would fit in any of those cities. Just, the vibe of it and everything.
Mm-hmm. And at that point, I don't think there was another restaurant like it in Charlotte.
No.
That was doing that kind of thing. Certainly not Uptown.
No.
Uptown, was that like the first kind of big, attractive, like bustling restaurant uptown?
It was. I mean, Bistro 100 was, but it was more,
businessmen.
Yeah,
and like
whatnot like that. And
more
people
reserved,
going to shows.
Yeah, it was like a reserved clientele. I remember. I mean, I came to Blue a little bit later, but it was fucking wild in there.
It was wild.
Like people were fucking crazy. I was like, this is like next level shit. You know what I mean? Like people like, it's like they come out for a nice dinner and like let their hair down.
They did. They definitely let their hair down in that place for sure.
Yeah.
It's funny though, as I look back on it, people were like saying, "Oh, the cuisine here is eclectic. It's something that we've never seen in Charlotte." From like, it's really basic food that everybody's seen for a long time. For me, it wasn't all that weird or different than a lot of people. We actually, the first couple of weeks, we had people come to us and say, "Hey, Alex is a friend of mine, and the food here just isn't working. And we just don't understand it." And I had a purveyor one time come in, and he's like, "Yeah, I just don't think you guys are going to make it. I don't think you're going to really need to change it." And I threw him out the front door.
Said,
hit
the bricks.
Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. And so then, but we were about a month into it. Things were busy. And I was like, we got to get some more line cooks in there. And John's like, I know this guy. And I said, listen, John, anybody you tell me about, I'm going to jump on for sure. And then he showed me this resume for this guy named Jamie Lynch. I was like, yeah, let's get him in here immediately, And I know that you had talked to a few people before that and everything, and people get nervous. People don't want to give their recipes away.
Yeah.
People don't want to bring in somebody that might be as good as them, better than them, whatever. I didn't care. Again, I had that confidence. I'm like, I'm the king of the fucking world here right now. I want the best people around me.
Right.
And it was almost magical, especially in this town, the team we put together.
Yeah.
Finally.
Well, you put it together.
Well, yeah, but finally I had people like-minded that I didn't have to say, why don't you fucking get this?
Yeah.
They got it. And then some. And I'll say this day, I never taught any of you guys how to cook. You guys knew how to cook. That's why you were there.
Yeah.
And, did I show you things? Yeah. Did you guys show me things? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we work on how to run a business? Yeah.
Totally.
And that's something I learned from a big corporate place like Bistro 100. It's not all about the food you do. You got to run that business correctly, too.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I think, so I came into Blue, John hit me up. I think I was, at that point I was working at, dish. I'd help them open
Yep.
that because like
Yep.
their chef had like bailed or something. I lived in the neighborhood. I knew the people that were doing it, and their chef bailed like the day before they were opening, and they were like, "Hey, we need help," and I was like, "All right, cool." So I kind of did that. I hated it. Like it wasn't what I was about, right? I don't do Southern like family style stuff. I was like, I need to be pushing it. So John hit me up, and I remember him. He said to me, he's like, "Look, we need help." He's like, we need help bad.
We're getting
we need
asses
cooks.
kicked all the
we need
night.
cooks. And I was like, okay. Well, I was like, I can do that. He's like, I know. He's like, you're way overqualified. He's like, you're a better cook than any of us here. You have better experience than any of us.
100%.
And he's like, but I don't have a chef position for you. He's like, is that going to be a problem? I was like, I don't give a fuck. I was like, I'll come in there. I was like, let me show you what I can do.
Yep.
I was like, let me show you what I can do. And so, and he's like, well, how much do you need to make, right? Because like the budget. And I think at that time, this is crazy. I think I took $14 an hour.
He's pretty sure, yeah.
I think he was like, I think we top out at 14. And I was like, fucking for real? I was like, for real, dude? Okay, whatever. I was like, whatever. And so I came in, and man, it was busy.
Yeah.
So I ended up working saute with Bernie, who's also probably the other strongest cook in the kitchen, maybe other than his brother Dago.
Yeah, but Bernie was always good.
Yeah.
But as he worked with you more and more,
he got
that's
better.
when he really hit his peak.
Yeah, he got there. So Bernie was like a good high volume. Like he could handle. He didn't get flipped out over like volume, so he was perfect for that station.
Yep,
that was like your tenderloin and like just the heavy duty stuff came off of there, and so he could handle volume, but his cooking was not good. Like his
technique wise,
awful.
It wasn't there. Yeah,
and so we really turned. Like, that was a 2-man station, and we were like, and we dialed it in. Like, we got to the point where we were crushing out fucking... But I do remember, I mean, if you miss a steak drop, holy shit. Like, that'll crash the kitchen.
In there? Yeah.
We did that a couple times. We missed a few, like, drops or whatever. And, I mean, it would bring service to a halt at times.
Yeah. But the good thing about it is we had the people in there that could pick it back up and get it going again really quick. I mean, as I look back on that line, I got... you and Bernie on saute. I've got Dago and Manny on grill.
Yep.
Then I've got John or Ben working with somebody on the oven. Then I got Ben or John or working with somebody on hot apps.
Yeah, you had a pretty powerful team.
Yeah. I mean, and to me, and that's when I kind of had to step back from working the line all the time.
Yeah.
Because I was seeing all these things in the front of the house that I didn't like. Again, why don't they fucking get it?
Right.
Why don't they want to put forth the effort that we put forth and really make it happen?
Was it your idea to do a whole fish?
Yeah.
That was the craziest shit. I remember the first week I was there, and so we did a whole roasted bronzini.
Yep.
And they would fillet it tableside.
Yep.
Which I was just like, fucking madness.
Yeah, the servers hated me.
Yeah, they hated you for it. And, I mean, I don't know how you got them to do it. Like how, I mean, it was a successful thing. Like, and we sold a lot of them.
A lot of them.
I mean, we sold probably 35 or 40
a night
fish a night.
Yeah.
And they had to fillet each one at the table. There was no like, hey, we'll break it. Unless the guest asked.
Yes.
Like, hey, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see any of that. We would do it in the back. Mm-hmm. But that was rare.
Very rare.
Like, I mean, it wasn't even, we didn't even do one a night.
People would
it was
come
like
in
every
there
once
for
in a
that.
while. Yeah.
Just for that fish, yeah.
And that shit would slow the fucking service down, too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we're waiting on servers to finish filleting the fish before we send the rest of the table
out, yeah.
And I just remember, like, thinking that was madness, that we were doing it. But looking back, it worked. I mean, it was really hard. It was the hard way to do it.
It was.
Probably wasn't the smartest way to do it.
Probably not.
But people did come in for it. Yeah. It was a signature item that you couldn't get anywhere else that I know of.
No, at that time, no.
Yeah, and it worked. Mm-hmm. And it got written up, and people talked about it. So I mean, it was a success in that regard.
Yeah, and that's and again, we got the visit from Helen Schwab there too. Mm-hmm. And
do you remember that review?
Yeah.
Was it good? Was it?
Oh,
good?
it was glowing. Best crab cakes ever had.
Yeah.
And, the only thing we messed up on were some kebabs or something like that. Mm-hmm. But beyond that, and when that review came out, it just even blew up even more in that place.
Yeah.
But for me, stepping off the line was very difficult. Mm-hmm. And some of those nights, like I said, we were just so busy. I mean, we were doing 500 or 600 people every night, and that's 3 courses and everything a la menu and everything. It was just incredible. But for me, being able to look on the other side of the line and see you guys there,
yeah,
I was like, okay, we got it.
Yeah. Did that give you like a sense of confidence knowing that you had a team that could execute?
And again, cared as much as I did.
Yeah.
You guys, might not have been the executive chefs, but you cared about every single dish you put out.
Yeah, we did.
A lot.
Yeah.
And that's what makes a difference between people that have got it in this business and people that don't have it.
Yeah, 100%.
All the time.
We all joke about how you were the luckiest chef in Charlotte 100%. To have that team. Although, kudos for you. I mean, you having the cojones to hire us all and say, hey, whatever, and having confidence and self-awareness not to be put off by that. But also, there was an element of timing where we were all just kind of available.
Oh, yeah.
And then snatching us up. But, and our team was together for a long time. So we all worked together for, Dominique got weeded out very quickly.
About a month.
But a month after I started, he was gone. Because I was like, this guy's a fucking joke.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, get rid of this loser.
Now.
And we don't need him. He's bringing us down.
Oh, yeah.
And we all, that was, all of us weeded him out. I think it was like...
It wasn't even anything. It was like, no, he's got to go.
Yeah, me, John, and Ben were like, this guy, Gene, you gotta.
Yeah.
But then the 4 of us were together for, who was the first one to leave?
3, no, until you guys went to table.
Yeah.
Nobody left at that point.
And so when table opened, how?
08.
So that was?
No, 06.
06?
06, 07. So we were together for like 3 or 4 years.
3 or 4 years together. Yeah. Then we opened. Ben moved to table as the CDC.
Yep.
John stayed.
Yep, and Greg Guthrie came in.
Greg Guthrie came in at Blue. Yeah. I was at table and Blue. I was kind of back and forth.
Back and forth a little bit, yeah.
A little bit, but I was mostly at table helping. We brought in Sam.
Yeah, Sam Divinich, yeah.
Was over at table.
Yep.
And then I was kind of like the glue between the two, bouncing back and forth. Yeah, that was crazy. So table was, I don't know, describe table.
Table was, not even an extension of Blue. It was something we did totally different. Same quality and techniques, but more wood burning, more of a traditional kitchen.
Well, you designed the kitchen.
I was able to design first kitchen I'd ever designed.
Yeah,
I probably spent way more money than I was supposed to, but that was a beautiful kitchen.
Yeah, it was great.
I still have people like Bruce Moffat and these guys talking about that kitchen.
Yeah. We put an island in there. We designed it after the really upscale, high-end kitchens that I worked in. Yeah. And that all the guys that we admired.
Yep.
It was modeled after those style kitchens.
It was an awesome place. The biggest issue with table, it was wrong place, wrong time.
Everybody says that.
Yeah.
I was talking to Bruce about that yesterday. We were chatting. He's like, that restaurant was beautiful and amazing.
All the chefs loved it in town, yeah.
Yep.
If we had that in South Park or probably downtown or something like that would have.
Can you imagine if we'd had it at Blue? Oof. Ooh, boy. Yeah. Man. That Table's kitchen was a hot rod.
It was.
For sure.
Yeah, it was absolutely awesome. But then the shit hit the fan with the banks and everything in town, and that's when we had that real big recession there.
Right, so that was 2008.
2008.
Right?
Like September.
The fucking bottom dropped out on all the banks, and it was just... And so the people... So Table was out in Ballantyne, which was a fairly new extension.
At that time, yeah.
It was like an extension of South Park, kind of. So it was, I would say, young professionals, kind of yuppie business people, bankers, people who just got fucking annihilated with the whole recession thing. People that were kind of mortgaged to the hilt, living the life, but didn't have the cash to back it up.
Exactly.
And I think that was kind of the demise of Table. It was like, okay, well now these people don't have the income to survive.
People stopped coming.
Yeah.
Blue slowed down, a lot, but it was still pretty busy.
Yeah, it was able to
that
kind
point.
of break, or just under at least,
Yeah.
for a while.
It was, and then then things came back downtown, and this is another point in my life where I started noticing things that the business was doing to me. Now I've got all my children. I've got 3 daughters. I got a wife at home, and I'm just working all the fucking time. Mm-hmm. And I think all of us might have taken like 3 days off that whole first year we were open over there because it was so busy all the time.
Crazy.
Yeah. That's when I started noticing, okay, prior to that, getting married and everything, when you're done at night in this business, you know as well as I do, okay, what are we going to do now? And we're going to hit the bars. We're going to, drink as much as we can, find as many girls as we can, do as many drugs as we can, so we can calm down from what we just did. Mm-hmm. It's okay. That goes okay for a little while, but not for long.
No.
Not for long. It really takes a toll on you. But you have to have an outlet. And I didn't do that for a long time. And so, I'm with Martha and the girls and everything. I'd come home and I'd still be that jacked up person from work.
Yeah. Adrenaline still like.
and it made it very hard. I'll give Martha all the credit in the world. Thank God I've got someone like that at home to raise my children.
Yeah.
Because I'm at work all the time. She did an awesome job.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Right.
I can't imagine if I had been the one to raise them what they would have been like,
Yeah, Hellraisers for sure.
But then there's also, I come home and maybe a situation happens, I get all crazy like I did at work, and they're like, we don't need Chef Gene here.
Yeah.
We need Dad at home.
Right.
And it took me a long time to work that out.
Yeah.
It's so difficult. I mean, even to this day, I struggle with that,
Yep.
I'll just get into a situation at home and I'll be, all right, just go off and like, oh, fuck, why did I do that? I didn't need to do that.
How did you, so your family kind of was part of the evolution of like, how do I control this, like, monster that is Chef Gene? So let's talk about that, because that's interesting. I think it's something that all chefs have to deal with
100%.
at some point.
Yeah.
I certainly have.
Yeah.
And so you were a very high energy, loud. I mean, you'd get frustrated and angry. You would yell a lot.
And threaten.
But yeah, you'd make, I'm going to smash your face kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you were never like derogatory. You were never like, you suck, or like, I fucking hate you, or any shit like that. It was never like that. It was just like, it was this very loud, frustrated, like, I need to vent this, like,
we're in this situation. Get us the fuck out of this situation right now.
This is your fucking fault. Let's go. Move your fucking ass kind of shit.
Yeah.
And you were loud. Like, and that kitchen was not closed.
No,
like the blue kitchen,
open.
It was open on either end. There was there was a glass wall that basically
very
separated.
Thin glass wall.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure people could hear you on College Street.
People would comment. There were times when the valets would come in and ask what the fuck was going on.
Yeah. Is everything okay in here? I wonder if people came for that.
Some people did.
Yeah.
Some people did. It's kind of the show, and at that point, that's when all these guys, were on TV and
right.
And I didn't give 2 shits about those guys on TV, but that's just how I was.
Yeah.
That's how I'd been brought up. That's how the chefs that I'd worked with were like that.
So what did you do to become like aware? Were you aware of that at the time, that you would like get elevated and start like yelling and stuff?
I was aware of it, but I couldn't help myself because
couldn't control it.
Why can't you people understand what we're doing here?
Yeah. Get on the level.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah. And so again, that's something I've always struggled with. I think a lot of us have. Over the years. It's
for
tough.
Sure. Yeah. Have you gotten grips on that these days now?
More so. And just from working at Blue, and as I started getting a little older, and I think sometimes it's a confidence thing. I mean, I've always had that super high level of confidence, but it's tempering it a bit. And realizing that you want to work with people, and I became more like angry dad.
Yeah, disappointed.
You don't want to disappoint your father.
Be like, oh, this again.
And I found out that worked just as well.
Yeah.
Do I still get loud? Absolutely. And all the kitchens at Legion are open kitchens too. So
Yeah. Well, people grow to expect it now.
Yeah,
They're like, what's up with this old guy just sitting in the corner? You
that's
got to
Chef Gene, huh?
still
Oh,
put
yeah.
on the show a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But the home thing was tough,
Yeah.
and trying to manage all that, and one of the ways I started bringing the girls into work. Mm-hmm. They would do the little the chef things with us,
Mm-hmm. Some
and
cooking classes.
We'd do the cooking classes. None of them really liked except for Eve.
Yeah.
She, again, she's 100-pound version of me, personality-wise. She got, blonde hair, skinny little girl, but she's like me way too much. But she could be a good chef if she wanted to.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to be in the business, though.
That's smart.
She's way too smart.
That's good.
To do that,
I got Martha's brains.
Exactly.
great.
Thank God, And Olivia doesn't want anything to do with it either, even though they've all done the cooking classes. Gabrielle's in the business, though.
Yeah.
She's our event coordinator at South Park.
Oh, no way. So she works with you?
She graduated from UNCC with honors, and now she's taking a couple years off, and then she's going to go get her master's degree. But she's killing it in there right now.
That's
I'm not
great.
going to lie to you. And she got in a real bad car accident about a week and a half ago and broke her arm really bad. So I'm at the scene there, trying to get her help into the ambulance, stuff like that. She's up in the ambulance. She's like, all right, you need to call this person to take care of that. You need to call this person to get that. I need you. I'm like, stop being Chef Gene.
Yeah.
Go get yourself taken care of.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. It made me really proud to do that. And she's we actually did a beer dinner together last night.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. And
how great was that?
It was cool. And, in the middle of it, maybe I'm super proud. She comes up, she's like, high five. She's like, Briggs team does it.
Yeah,
like,
dude, that's super great. Good for you, man. That's got to be
awesome.
a huge element of pride and
absolutely
achievement to have a youngster of yours crushing it in the same business and not the same company.
Yeah, and and that was the other thing with Eve. When she was 15, I brought her into Expo at Blue.
Yeah,
during restaurant week. And I had to walk off the line one time to go do something. I come back and I hear her yelling at somebody. And Dago comes up to me. She's like, Chef, she's just like you. Yeah. And I was like, well, thank God.
Yeah. We were in trouble.
She worked behind the line at Blue for a while. She worked on the line at Legion South Park for a while.
Wow.
She's good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, so I was super happy about that, But again, I gotta hand that all to Martha that these kids are so well balanced and everything because I couldn't have.
And she's been able to deal with your shit too. So
know
Martha used to work at Blue too.
Yeah.
She was a server there, and so I don't know how she deals with what she worked with you and then children and like holy shit.
Yeah.
What a saint.
I'll
Saint
give her all
Martha.
the credit in the fucking world.
Yeah, unbelievable. So what's next for Legion now? So Legion's got 3 huge.
Yeah, we sold Blue.
Yep.
After 14 years, which for the high end restaurant's a long time to be in one spot. And so I took about a year off. I did some consulting around town. I worked with John Marino at Old Mech and did a lot of stuff. I actually worked with Corey at the People's Market for a while, which Corey's a really good guy.
Yeah.
I like him a lot. He said he was doing some dinners with you.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
That's cool.
And then I met up with these Legion guys. And I don't know if there was a guy, if you remember, there's a guy named Russell that worked on the line there.
Remember Russell?
Tall, goofy guy, super nice. But it was kind of towards the end of when you guys were there. That's when Sam Jett and those guys came over.
Right.
And again, I got to throw props out to Sam Jett.
Yeah.
He came in working there for us when all you guys were there.
Yep.
And we beat the shit out of him.
Big time.
And
he was I remember Sam just being like a super young food nerd.
Yes.
With 0 chops.
Yes.
At all.
Yeah.
And just a total book geek.
100%.
Who could he was very into the scientific part of what food's about, but had no real grasp on cooking and that. Yeah. And we just lambasted the shit out of him.
He took it all too.
Yeah, he loved it.
Really did. And I finally made him a chef at Oso when we opened that. And then he went to go work with Sean Brock down in Charleston. And the kid's been, on a, going up since then. He was with Ashley Christensen when she opened Death and Taxes. he left right before she got her James Beard Award for Best New Restaurant, but she called him up and said, "Listen, you're the one that did that.
Yeah, that's
thank
great.
you a lot, And now he's running Brock's whole empire out there.
That's great.
You know?
Yeah, he's a huge success story.
Yeah. So that was cool. So, fast forward. So, we sold there and did that. And then I met up with the guys. Russell, who used to be a line cook for us, was their head of distribution. Mm-hmm. And so I saw him at the People's Market one day. He's like, "Hey, these guys could use a little help. They don't know that much about restaurants. You might want to consult with them." So I walked in there, and the first day I met the owner, Phil Bushy. I was like, all right, I like this guy a lot. He's got super ambition. He really thinks a lot the way I do. He runs his company the way I do. We're a family. Mm-hmm. We always were at Blue.
Yeah.
We'd hang out after work. We knew each other's, everything about each other and everything. And that was one of the things that kept us together for so long, and still to this day we all talk.
Sure.
That's how he thought.
Yeah.
And I heard his ambition as to what he wanted to do with the company, and I was like, yeah.
Cool.
And so we hit it off right away. Opened South Park, and South Park, just like Blue, was packed.
Yeah.
From the day one.
Yeah, I mean, the brewery thing had been popping off in Charlotte
Big time.
For a few years.
We you and I and the guys did the very first beer dinner, like high-end beer dinner in Charlotte with Michael Brawley from Brawley's.
That's right.
The Unibrew dinner.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's true. Yeah, so Legion came, like, it was kind of halfway through this like push of breweries. Mm-hmm. There was a couple like really well renowned breweries.
Oh yeah,
none of them were doing food though. They didn't really have like solid food. They were doing like food trucks and things like that, and like organizing those kind of things.
Old Mech had the only place that was doing like real food. Mm-hmm. Super German based, but they were doing real food. And so Phil and I were talking. I was like, we just need to take this whole brewery thing to another level. Yeah. And we're going to differentiate ourselves from everybody that's doing it. Mm-hmm. There are a few places around the States that were doing it, but not a lot. Up in Asheville, there was a couple and one like that. But we walked in the door there, and I got the same guys from Blue, Dago, and all those guys are there in Michigan.
Yeah.
They came up with us there. And we're using the same techniques.
Yep.
We're using the same ingredients. We're just making it accessible for everybody.
Yeah.
We've got awesome meatloaf.
Yep.
We've got incredible burgers. But yeah, we're, making all our own kimchi, making our own miso. We're making all our own vinegars and all kinds of stuff like that in there too.
Yeah.
And we're running specials as good as any high-end restaurant in Charlotte too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so that, people are coming in for that, and they're not afraid to pay $35 or $40 for a dinner in there.
Yeah. That's great.
But yeah, you can still go in there 3 or 4 times a week and get a burger.
Yeah.
Get, your basic stuff like that. We don't have a fryer in there either.
Really? That's kind of surprising.
For a brewery.
Yeah.
We wanted to be able to differentiate ourselves.
Yeah.
We don't have one in any of our spots right now.
That's great.
And people don't even ask for it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because we offer them
enough diversity and stuff that they're interested in, that you don't have to do the fried crap.
Yeah, exactly.
Good for you, man. That's great.
So
you got the 3 stores now, and with one more
coming up.
What's the
time? A month?
Like you're a month away?
Yeah.
Or this in March?
This in March.
Holy smokes!
Yeah,
are you
towards
ready?
The end of March. Yeah, I mean, I'm ready, but it's getting equipment these days is
because the supply chain's rough. So are you guys are you still waiting on
a couple? I'm still waiting on pieces for Trolley Barn that opened 7 months ago.
Yeah,
And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
when is this stuff coming through? Each one of our locations is going to be different.
Okay. So it's not all the same menu. Do you have things that kind of cross over a little bit?
Maybe a little similar.
Yeah.
But nothing right on.
Cool.
The only thing that's across all the restaurants are we get pretzels from Queen City Pretzel.
Right.
And he does a really good job with those.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It's right.
Yeah. And if they can do it better than you can,
absolutely.
That's one thing I learned pretty early on, and is were we using Duke's bread?
No.
We never used Duke's.
We never used Duke's at Blue. They weren't even around.
Yeah, when did I start using Duke's? That might have been. It might have been when I opened Five Church. But anyways, so we started a bread program, and then I met Adam Duke, and his bread. His bread's astounding. It's delicious.
Adam does a great job.
It's expensive.
Yes.
But I mean, there's no way that any of my bakers could could make bread at that level, so we started using him.
Not on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
And that's what happens.
And I learned that lesson early on. It's like, if you find a product that's like better than you can do it, just like, buy it. Like mid-month. Same big store.
Not as big.
Okay,
this
so a little smaller.
is closer to our Plaza Midwood location.
Okay.
It's going to be more brewery than full service restaurant, but it's got a full kitchen.
Okay.
And one of the things I've been able to do is I hooked up with a guy out of Texas that builds our Argentinian wood burning grills.
Awesome.
And
I want to come see those.
You need to do it. It's incredible.
I think I want to bring my video guy down, and do you mind if we do it? We'll do we'll follow you for a day and take some shots for the YouTube of this podcast.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. I'd like to see. I'd like to see the kitchen and all the guys too. That'll be fun just to see everybody.
Yeah,
but be able to show people that are listening what you're doing with the brewery food scene.
Yeah.
In Charlotte.
Yeah, it's been awesome, and the difference with this one over in Moorhead is we have the wood burning grill, but on either side of it, there's a wood burning rotisserie.
Oh, sweet!
And so we're gonna do like shawarma and al pastor and all stuff like that. And we actually developed our own bread that we make in house for that too. So it's gonna be more like a wrap with that.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's a
I'm
lot
hungry
of fun.
now.
Yeah.
Awesome. Dude.
And Charlie again. Trolley Barn is different than South Park. Mm-hmm. Trolley Barn, we're doing more experimental stuff there like that. And once I get all these restaurants open, we'll be pushing the envelope with that even more.
Right.
When
you get some time to focus on that a little bit and start playing.
The brew system at Trolley Barn, there's nothing like that in the entire United States. They developed a totally new one. It's we ferment all the beer there.
Okay.
And then there's holding tanks up above. I don't know, they got to be like 800 gallons each up above the bar, and that's where all the beer is done from. So there's no Legion beer in there. It's a totally freestanding thing, and we've got a brewer just for Trolley Barn.
Oh, cool!
It's really cool.
That's
neat. It's one of the most beautiful restaurants in Charlotte, and there's a view that goes straight down the rail line towards downtown Charlotte.
Oh, cool!
It's
so you
really
just
cool.
get a clear shot down the.
And it'll never change because it's on the rail line.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's really awesome.
Cool, man.
And
so what's next after Moorhead?
I don't know. We're going to take some time. We were talking before. We're going to go from doing 6,500 barrels of beer a year at Plaza to 100,000 barrels a year. That's going to change us as a company.
Yeah, that's a huge. It's
huge. Being we'll be the number 2 brewery in North Carolina at that point, and that's saying a lot because there's some big brewers in North Carolina.
Yeah, so Asheville's got a ton of monster stuff, and yeah.
I mean, even Nodon Old Mech around here.
Yeah,
they're no
right
joke up there. Yeah, but we, at the beginning of COVID, we decided to can Juicy J. Mm-hmm. Which I don't know if you had Juicy before. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't had a drink in 3 years, but I think
back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day I did when it was still all fresh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's just put us on a velocity because we put that in the Harris Teeters at the beginning of COVID. It became the number 1 selling craft beer in the Harris Teeter.
Yeah.
And number 5 against all the beers, which is saying a lot. And it doesn't stay on the shelves ever.
I really liked the Juicy J because it's a very nice balance between a good craft beer and the super hoppy IPA.
Yes.
A lot of these guys are going over the top with the IPA shit, and that's great. People are into that. Fine. I was never into that. To me, it just became hyper bitter.
Yeah, it's too hot sauce.
Yeah, exactly. And the Juicy J was the IPA that had that hoppiness that you want from an IPA, but not over the top. And it was had enough.
Very approachable.
Yeah, really awesome, balanced IPA.
Yeah,
I could see why it would be super popular.
Yeah, because anybody could, even a beer snob is going to like it.
Yep.
But then your regular beer person is just getting into craft beer is going to say this is incredible.
Yeah, it's a good
too.
gateway into the dark side of hop beers
or alcohol. Period.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
and that's how we approach it with the food too.
Yeah,
keep it approachable, but keep it better than everybody else.
Yeah, still do stuff from scratch.
100%.
That's awesome.
Yeah, everything in the restaurants. Kevin Barrow actually came back down from New York City, and he's the chef at Trolley Barn.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't wait to see Kevin. Yeah. I didn't realize he was back with you.
Yeah.
I thought maybe I knew that, but I don't know if if I did or not, but it'd be good to see him.
Yeah.
Cool. So what else? Anything else you want to cover before we wrap it up?
No, I mean, not right now. I mean, like I said, we're going to take some time off before we
Focus on what you got and
But
tighten
I mean,
the screws.
Phil's got big plans. I mean, even Cuba, possibly in the plans.
Ooh, interesting.
There's no breweries there.
Yeah. What is the relationship like? I wonder what that's all like. The relationship.
He
doing
knows
business there.
people there, and they're going to just start getting into U.S. businesses, and once they do, that place is gonna
Pop off.
Man, that would be so much fun to go to a place like that and open up.
Totally.
Yeah.
I'll sail my sailboat down
For
there
sure.
and see you. Awesome. Well, Gene, man, thanks for coming. It was so great to finally see you again.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna bring my guy down to the brewery. We'll do some video and stuff. It'll be fun.
Yeah, let me know.
All right. Good luck with the new spot.
Thank you.
All right. Later.